In this video, I will go through a few steps that can be taken to ensure that your PowerPoint presentation is accessible. The first thing that we need to look at is the slide reading order. To do this, we need to have the Home ribbon open, go to Arrange and Selection pane. As we can see, a panel will open on the right-hand side. We need to read this panel from bottom to top, so we can see that the first item on the page is the title. The screen reader will then read the first content box, then onto the second and onto the third. This is the correct order for the screen reader. But in some cases, if we copy and paste text onto a slide later, it can go into the wrong order. So you might see something like this. This can be easily fixed by rearranging the text boxes as if they were layers. Another option available in the Selection pane is to hide a certain element. The next thing to look at in PowerPoint is alternative text. To ensure that a screen reader can identify an image and can translate that image to a screen reader user, alternative text must be used. To open the alternative text panel, double-click on the image and you will see that all text appears at the ribbon on top. You can also right-click on the image and go to Edit Alt Text. This will open the Alt Text panel. You can add alternative text here. Adding 1 to 2 descriptive sentences is recommended. It is advised not to use the Generate a Description for Me button, as this may not generate an accurate description. You may also want to use images for design purposes. And to do this, we can click on the image and check the box where you see Mark as decorative. This must be done for images that do not need a description, as the screen reader will identify the image but won't know what to translate. This should also be done for shapes or icons or any decorative elements. Tables also need to be made accessible for users. Complex tables cannot be read by screen readers, so it is important to keep them very simple. It's very easy to make these accessible in PowerPoint. If you double-click on the table, it will open the Table Design ribbon on top. In this table, we are using a header row. So if I highlight that row and come up to the panel on top and ensure that header row is checked. If we were using the first column for headings, we would need to check the box First Column. This is a very important step for the screen reader, so that the screen reader will be able to identify what text needs to be read under each heading. If this step was not taken, the screen reader would just read the table left to right, top to bottom. If there is additional information that cannot be explained in the table, alternative text should be added. It is also important that you don't use merged cells in a table, as the screen reader won't be able to identify which column needs to go under that. Links also need to be made accessible in PowerPoint. While a hyperlink is automatically created when pasted into PowerPoint, a lot of the time this is not accessible. Raw hyperlinks do not make sense when read out by a screen reader. To change the title of this, highlight the link, right-click and click on Edit Link. Here we can see the link and we can change the text to display on top. Always ensure that this is a meaningful title. The final step that should always be taken in PowerPoint is to check the accessibility of the document. To do this, we can go to File, Info, Check for Issues, and in the drop-down, click on Check Accessibility. This will open the accessibility panel on the right-hand side. There are currently no accessibility issues in this document. But to show you an example of how they would appear, I'll go back to the images. Where I had this decorative image, I can open the alt text again and uncheck this box, leaving no alt text for this image. If I go back to the accessibility check, I can now see that there is alt text missing. There is also a warning to check the reading order for slide 3. When I go back to fix this issue and go back to my alt text and mark as decorative again. The accessibility issues are now fixed, and the reading order has also fixed.